Hey Legionnaires, welcome back to Thrones of Britannia. It only means one thing when you see the longships here in Total War. We are in the Viking world of Thrones of Britannia, and my gosh, what a siege we have for you today. It is a truly glorious 4v4 here, as we start off with a little bit of a naval battle here, as we have some Welsh levy spears here that are engaging against some male things, actually killing off quite a lot of them as well in this initial combat here, and they're actually losing slightly. Wow. We thought that these are clearly supercharged levy spearmen. So yeah, doing a decent amount of damage to these male thanes. That is incredible. But yeah, another male thanes is actually landing on their ship in the rear, and that might change the aspect of this battle. Yeah, now they're winning slightly. They lost 30 men to like lightly armored Welsh spear levy. That's pretty impressive, to be fair. So you know, fair play to the spearmen there. They are now routing, I think. But yeah, this is a very brief start to the siege battle, as we have a glorious 4v4. Balance power, not really in our favor, but to be honest, it is a glorious siege battle, and there's a lot of death and destruction in this one. I like how even though they didn't really ram and sink the ship, it is now just sinking, by the way. It should just have stayed there. They could have captured it, I guess. But anyway, this is a beautiful siege battle. I forgot how great throne sieges are, and yeah, we have 4 Wessex armies here on the attack. We have, I think, 2.5 coming by sea, and then another 1.5 coming by land here. Yeah, Wessex is a very strong faction, really tough, but I feel like we got a good chance. On the defense today, we have 2 Norse factions, well, 2 Norse players, I should say, here, and then we have also a Stratclut, which I believe is like Scottish or like Welsh or Scottish, like hybrids. I don't know. Like Stratclut maybe seeing a Strathclyde, just in Scotland. Then these are Welsh mailed swords. So I don't really know what the vibe is for this faction, but they are kind of a Welsh influence by the looks of it. Lots of longbows. And also, well, obviously these guys are called literally Welsh mailed swords. And then the final faction, no question about where these boys are from. These are the mighty Scots Kirken Alban warriors here. We've got black blades as well. We've got some lowland crossbows over here, which hopefully do a lot of work. Crossbows in Thrones are actually very good. Really solid units to bring. I think really only Kirken and maybe also the Normans have availability to them. I don't know. I might be wrong there, but certainly not every faction has the option to bring them, that's for sure. Which is obviously one of the great things about Thrones. Like, you know, there's a bit of faction variety, but I feel like they could always do it a little bit more. That's for sure. We've got the longbows, so you can see the ships starting to appear in the back there over the over their shoulder. And they're gonna have to get ready. These longbows though are getting ready for their own naval invasion, which is about to land here on the shores. And look at that, so many. What's coming in first? We've got lots of male Danes by the looks of it coming in this first wave. Yeah, I think this is all male Danes actually. Wow. Yeah, not a lot of variety going on here. All male Danes landing in this first wave. Wow. Love to see how they do. They're going up against Welsh armoured swordsmen, and behind them is a load of Welsh armoured axemen. They will be fighting it out first, and we'll see how this one goes. But yes, definitely get yourselves some snacks, get yourselves some drinks, and prepare for a glorious 4v4, as victory or Valhalla will be the outcome for either side in this battle. It is going to be a beautiful sight. And here we go. We have the male Danes starting to land here, destroying these markets that stand in their way. And in they go. The first sort of clash is underway as the Danes here clash with the Welsh shield wall. Shield wall is certainly a very advantageous formation to form up in. It seemed like they kind of come out of it though, as soon as, I don't know if that was just because they got an attack order given. They certainly come out of it, which I guess maybe gives them a little bit better melee attack, but their defense will come down. We'll see how these male Danes do here. Certainly they're in range of the longbows from the cliffs if they want to use those guys as help in any fights down here.
The enemy is at the walls!
I certainly think Thrones is a very beautiful total war. It certainly is. I just really wish they expanded on it. I think it's a very underrated total war, that's for sure. Yeah, male Danes here, losing a couple of troops. Very even at the moment in this fight. And yeah, it looks like along the whole line, really, just a lot of male Danes being landed. Looks like also some have also been shifted, having since landed, have now shifted to actually capturing this gate. Not a bad idea from the Wessex players. The Norse players giving this up, I guess, thinking there's just too much ground to cover, which it probably would be. And you can see the siege towers are also coming forward now, so it seems like these siege towers are going to be pushed up to the walls, and they're going to try and do what they can. They're burning. Oh, they're burning the watchtower, which I guess that's a good use of ammunition if you're rooting for the defenders. Like, the attacks are wasting ammunition on these towers. I don't think thrones towers are really that dangerous, but it is what it is.
The enemy have captured the gates.
Enemies have captured the gates. There you go. First little victory for them, I guess. But yes, this was actually a battle that we did on a recent Thrones of Britannia stream. I was playing in it along with a load of my subs, and like I said, it was a really fun one. It's great to come back to Thrones, kind of freshen up sort of like what we play on the streams, always quite fun as well. But yeah, if you want to get involved in any Thrones battles, if you're like struggling to find multiplayer games, feel free to join my Discord. The link is down below in the description. I plan to do a few more streams, do a few more, like maybe a few scenarios on it, I don't know. See what we can get done. We've got male Thanes here now losing decisively because the longbows have been deployed, and you can see here they are evaporating these Saxons. There you go, yeah, that is a very dead male Thane. There you go, routing just like that. Now they can move on to another one if they want to. These Welsh armored swords have got to do what they can. They've got to keep slashing and cutting these guys down. But yes, if you're a fan of all things Thrones of Britannia and Vikings, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you're new around here as well. Feel free to leave a comment as well if you want to support the channel. We're working towards 10k subs, and we're steadily making our way in that direction. I can't thank you guys enough over the years for all of your support and all your experience with this channel. I never really expected to get this far when it came to Thrones. Well, not just Thrones, Total War. But yeah, it's just been a great journey. Can't thank you guys without, like, you really do make this channel happen. But yeah, but it looks like more male Thanes landing anyway. Yeah, fresh batch of those guys coming down. We've got mailed spears as well back here, so I would have thought it's a strange choice. Spears aren't exactly the greatest for pushing power, but they do look pretty damn sweet. They do look very cool, stylish. And then we've got Earl's Thanes as well back here, so I don't know if they're better tier 2. Well, I'd say male Thanes are tier 3, so I'd say no, they're not. But archers also landing over here. They're already shaken but not stirred. And they are taking out some of the longbows here. Stratclud, which is obviously a big loss there for Stratclud. They really shouldn't even have bothered to like contest that. They should have just left them. Just let the archers shoot other stuff, to be honest. Or you just stand there. They should have had all those longbows over here on the beach. I feel like they can do a lot of damage. But this Wessex player over here has broken through. Male Thanes down to the second line, taking on these axes here. And yeah, look at that. The axe is trying to contest this area as well, trying to deal with the spears that are now trying to break through as well. And already, are we seeing a bit of a crumbling here from the Welsh player? I don't know. We are seeing a lot of Scots also shift over in this direction as well. And it looks like as well we are seeing a clash now between the Vikings and the Saxons of Wessex here, as well as we have Sword Hearse here engaging down here. It looks like again with the male Thanes. Seems like that's just the bread and butter that the Wessex players are all going to bring. The Norse are really strong faction, really, really nasty.
See, they flee before our might.
One of my favorite factions for sure, along with like Suderea, which is a really good faction as well. But they don't really have much variety, that's the difference. Like Suderea and Norse, you could play either or, because they're basically the same faction. In submods, which you can also add like Radius and a few other ones, like the 1066 one, you get a few different varieties of factions, which is great. We are only playing vanilla here today. We're all spearmen, you can see the quality and difference. These guys don't get painted shields like their counterparts behind. They are waiting. There's lots of Vikings here waiting to try and overwhelm all these Saxons. And I mean, to be fair at the moment, there's not a lot of decent units going up. We've got male Thanes, and there's a Fjord Axeman there. Fjord is certainly not like good. They're literally like farmers that have been called up to fight. The beach assault still not looking great at the moment for the invading Wessex players. Actually are getting pushed back right now by the Welshmen, but the attackers do get more money and they do have more resources, so they do have a lot more troops to throw at this position than the Welsh players. I mean, they still have a good reserve. Like, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units back here. It's very, very healthy looking in reserves. Royal Thanes now, a gold chevron unit. I imagine these guys are going to be decent. They will need shooting down. And also what's in here, we have Royal Huskarls. These guys are like shield wall killers. They're huge double-handed axes, you can see here. They're going to try and break their way through this line. And this is now going to be a primary target, I imagine, for archers and crossbows, which are now all over here as well. My lowland crossbows now coming over to try and help out. As you can see here, this player has actually abandoned his assault, and it seems like he's not going to take on the defenders here, all these Scotsmen. This is a sad sight to see, because I really want to get these Scots into action. But it means I can send over a lot of my own troops now to help out my Welsh comrade here. We've got the Welsh and the Scots dealing with the English. That's always a common sight to see. Everyone in the British Isles does seem to hate each other. And everyone seems to hate the English in particular. Probably because we're most successful. That'll probably anger a few viewers. And I'm sorry. There you go, more Welshmen going in, Welshmen swords going in support, and they help rout that Huskarl unit. Could wrap around if they wanted to, try and surround these guys. But what's coming forward here? Bows. It was actually a good move here by the Wessex players, setting up his bow to try and, like, I guess, support his line. Maybe try and shoot some of these troops down here. These Welsh armored axemen might flank around here. We might see in a moment. They are burning bits of the city down as well, not doing any damage. I guess it doesn't do any damage when you're...
See, they flee before our might.
I don't know. I feel like it must do damage, we just can't see the amount of damage it's doing. But I certainly know burning of the city does do damage to melee attack skill or defenders. I don't think that one building, though, is going to make a difference. But this... Oh, I don't know. This big, long hall might make a difference. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, they're burning a lot down, actually. A lot of Royal Huskarls now being sent over to the centre over here, which is really starting to spice up. You can see over here, yeah, the Viking line, the long line. What we've got in here, just axe freemen. So again, not like top quality troops, but doing okay. What are they fighting against? Select Fjord Spears and mailed saxons. It's not like the best infantry in the world, that's for sure. The sword herdman here now going in, trying to support that fight. We've got Huskarls now joining that fight as well. That's going to certainly stiffen the line there for Wessex. As some of the freemen start to waver and break. Over on this side as well, the Norse players trying to contain the Wessex invasion here, but they are getting shot in the back. Like, these select Fjord archers here are easily getting rear shots into all of these units here, which is certainly probably not helping the North players here. You need to be aware of this. Probably need to try and deal with those archers if they can. I certainly know one of the Norse players didn't bring any range, they just went all melee, which is a risky move. I mean, range can be pretty useful in Thrones. It's certainly not as useful, I don't think it's in like Rome 2 or Attila, but it still is pretty good. Yeah, you can see here, I mean, they're just penned in, the Saxons. They just jumped off these siege towers here. And then they jumped straight into a massive crowd that's starting to form down here. And yeah, it seems like the Fjord axes are shaken, attacked on the flanks. Probably not great there. When they're holding them, for how long are they going to hold these guys? We will see. We will see. There you go. That's how it's going on the Viking front over here. It's spicing up, that's for sure. The naval invasion still is not looking great here. as a lot of Wessex troops are starting to die. Look at the piles of bodies here, by the way. This is all dead troops, I think, from ranged units. I didn't know there's any sort of dead, like, I don't think there's any dead Welshmen down there. It's hard to tell, but I don't think there is. They've just all been stood there and getting shot to pieces of units. Pretty brutal. We're now starting to see some Scots coming forward, which is a little bit worrying, obviously, for the Welsh, running out of infantry themselves. And they're doing a good job here, still killing off these mailed saxons. It actually seems like they sent in there some of their better troops first. I mean, these mailed saxons, gold chevron, my gosh. Earl Staines. Well, they sent in some of the mailed Staines, like best top tier infantry, they sent in first. Now they're sending in like secondary level infantry almost, which will happily mop up with our veteran dubbed Welsh mailed swords here that have been fighting for a long, long time in this like breach point. There's not even a breach point for landing zone. But look at the bodies down here. There must be hundreds of dead Saxons and Welshmen down there. I mean, I'm now bringing across even more of my my like archers and crossbows. I've got all my crossbows here at the moment. There's very little actually over here at this point. There's literally one ship that's just stood looking at me at this point. I definitely don't need this much here, but I also don't really need it here at the moment. We're kind of in a really good spot at the moment. Do a really good job. I'm bringing my general forward, popping some embolden, which really helps against like melee attack for infantry and speed. Very, very useful. We need every advantage we can get to try and defeat these Wessex troops. And more ships are landing. And more people are coming in now. We've got some long axes coming in. So they're like not quite as good as the Huskarls, but they're still a double-handed axe unit. Can do a lot of damage. Try and break through. And yeah, there you go. In they go. They are very close to the longbow zone and the crossbows, so they could get absolutely vaporized there. This is obviously one of their risks. Being a double-handed axe unit, you can't hold a sword, not a sword, a shield. So yeah, you're not unprotected from missiles. They are now running to the other side of the battlefield by the looks of it. More Royal Thanes dropping, mailed spears. What else is dropping? Fjord archers, I think, are dropping now, maybe. And some Royal Huskarls here setting up. This obviously is a real worry for the Welsh player. He's got 2 units holding this choke point. Really concerned about those Huskarls. They could go in and just absolutely vaporize that line. And we've got mailed spears, I think, trying to flank on around here. There go the Scots. Chase off some of these spears, not overcommit. The Viking line is starting to waver and quiver a little bit here. Viking raiders starting to go. Yeah, more Viking raiders and thrall spears. It's only the cheap stuff that's dying though, luckily. The more elite stuff is holding on. And in come more Huskarls, which obviously, yeah, it's gonna rip through this line like a hot knife through butter. Look at this. A lot of wavering now going on for the Vikings. Yeah, they actually could break through. We're seeing a sword hearse here going in. They're going to need some reserves, I think, in a moment. And we're seeing a shift now as we've got Alban Axe Warriors shifting over to support this line here. It's going to be very, very important. It looks like as well we have more Scots going in, trying to like support this line here. These boys coming down from the Highlands. And they're here to kill some Englishmen. Not that they can really call themselves English yet, because England hasn't yet been formed, but you know what I mean. There you go, long axes break, and then the reward for those Alban Axe Warriors is to fight a mailed Sax. It's still going to be a tough fight here. When they fall back like this, we'll take him. So we get to kill a few mailed Saxons for free, and that already seems like a pretty battered unit. 81 left. I'll take that. I don't know how much more there is to land. Not masses. There's certainly the Armada is very much deplenished. They're also sending a few troops over here, so we can't say we're killing every single unit that's been landing, There are, like, you can see here, 1, 2, 3 Eldanes that moved over, and also I think this Huskarl might be from that landing. As you can see as well, barricades are starting to be attacked. They're looking for a new way in. There is a Welsh mailed sword, though, waiting for them at the end of this road, so not a bad spot to be. We've now got more Scots going in here, trying to support this line. I think they've been forced back at the north. They were fighting there for quite a long time, doing a good job, but now they're being forced back. So now the new position is here where the Scots are. We've even got Scots now supporting over here. I was playing as Kirken, and I felt like I was playing a very, very much a support role at every point. Like Scots have been sent everywhere to fill up holes in the line, just trying to support my teammates. You see, Royal Thanes get defeated here by Alban Warriors. Like, these guys are good. These Alban Axe Warriors are decent. They'll hold the line. I feel like that's one of the things Kirken can do. You can bring quite a lot of good mid-tier stuff. You can just spam it out. Like, it might not be, like, insane. It's not going to beat the elite stuff, but you can just keep spamming out stuff. Like Alban Axe Warriors, and just try and just wear down the enemy with numbers. That's what I try to do. I try to bring a really large army. Do precisely that. Looks like over here we've got a general being committed now. We have a royal companion in here. That shows how desperate the Wessex players are getting over here. But to be fair, it's kind of working. There's a very thin line of Vikings right now holding back this host of troops from Wessex. They've been fighting here a long, long time. We've got mailed Huskarls in here as well fighting, so there's good units in here. Mailed Thanes are getting butchered. Watchtower still in their control. They're going to land, it looks like, another tower here. Try and outflank. This is obviously a danger. There's a sword herdman that's in reserve that I think is going to have that job dealing with the mailed Thanes. But yeah, not a bad idea there from the Wessex players, trying to just, you know, lengthen this line, which is something that obviously the Vikings can't really allow. There's an even longer line that's stretched out. Like, numbers don't really matter if you fight over a small area and have a good defensive line. That's why the attacks really need to make the numbers count. As more of these Huskarls come forward here. I love how people like beheading each other with like an axe, but it's like a stabbing action. Like, how do you do that? What skills do you have? As you can see here, the Scots now fighting over this barricade. It's in here, Black Blades, they're losing. But what else? Things? Okay. These are some of my better swords as well, the Black Blades. I don't know why they're I think they might be called Black Blades, so like the steel doesn't reflect in the light, like a moonlight or something like that. I guess it's supposed to be like quite a stealthy unit. I'm not really sure. That's like the reason I can only think of. Alban Warriors going in here. One of my lower tier units, but they are going to get some archer support by the looks of it. And that should help them win their fight. I mean, against mailed Thanes, not the strongest of mailed Thane units. There's more Huskarls in here as well. There's endless spam of these Huskarls. It's insane. And there you go, the Welsh general coming in, getting into melee. I think at this point, unfortunately, the Welsh player did desync, but most of his troops are already engaged in melee, so it didn't really matter. So we're like, it's okay. I mean, the general going in is not great, because if he were to die fighting one of these Huskarls, that would be pretty costly.
See, they flee before our fight. This might just work.
So yeah, it looks like the Welsh general has helped rout this Huskarl, so that's good to see. Doing his bit.
Our men have rallied.
Looks like the Welsh army over here might defeat the forces of Wessex. Once they've dealt with them, it's then just a quick zip down here, and then they can outflank the Wessex team if they want to. If they just have to rely on the Vikings to hold, and well, actually a lot of Scots now are in this front line. Actually, I've kind of taken over. Got a lot of Black Blades here. Various other units are now trying to hold, do their bit. There you go. I think that's the Welsh general dead. But like I said, I think the Welsh player and his army are pretty much dead. A couple of mailed swords, which are actually relatively healthy, actually. But that is about it. And here we go. We have Alban warriors now shifting over here. If we can get these archers in this general, that'll be a big win. Sure, there's like 3 units of archers here that could be taken out, which would be nice. Here we go. Alban warriors going in, taking on general. We'll see how they do.
It's a rout. Our warriors flee the battle.
They're going to start slicing and dicing their way through these bad boys. There you go, some wavering and breaking Danes there. We have a Norse general actually engaged here as well, a Hearthguard general. That's one of the cool mechanics as well that you get from Thrones, that you can upgrade your general. And you could, like, his command and size command. And you can give him a bigger bodyguard. So you can make it into a supercharged unit. You can get it to like 200, like largest unit sizes on, which is insane. Black Blades are breaking here. Alban Axe Warriors are going as well. We have to see this Berserker going here to hold the line. There is a hole here. Over here as well, it's not looking good, and it looks like Wessex is finally starting to break out here. We've got Scots that have been committed, but it's a bit of a hit and hope. These Alban Warriors, I don't know if they'll be able to hold them all back. Superior male Thanes are having their way, and it looks like, yeah, the Norse over here just haven't been able to hold them back, and this is going to be a real concern. I mean, balance power still hasn't changed, but we have killed so many. 1,600 against 2,800 at this point. Here the Berserkers as well, out of control, but they're holding back a horde of enemies, and that is kind of their job, you know. Berserkers might not be able to win every fight that they go into, but if there's a losing fight, they'll slow down the enemy very, very nicely. And there you go, yeah, there's 10 Berserkers left, holding back 10 times their number.
It's a rout. Our warriors flee the battle.
Here we go. This is the real breakthrough. This is the real issue here. The Royal Huskar General about to get charged. He's going to get absolutely, like, evaporated. Alban Warriors coming in. I'm trying to bring over my reserves out of one of the beach. Try to get them into this fight here, but it's not looking good. I haven't got much left. My crossbows have to pull off some sort of miracle if they want to have any chance of victory here as well. They're getting shot by archers. What's coming over from here? Alban Warriors. Some axemen, but yeah, desperately running out of men now. The Welsh player having committed all his troops as well in here. It's obviously not a very good use of resources, but unfortunately he was no longer command. It's more the AI doing that. Got some axes going in, trying to kill off these long axes. The Wessex is committed. Now we're fighting in the shade. We have a great tree here, a great oak. Have going in for a decent charge as well, trying to rout these units. Trying to go for my crossbows. I need to keep my crossbows alive and healthy if they want any sort of chance of victory.
The men have been routed. They are leaving the field.
There we go, Alban Warriors again dealing with these Huskars, trying to kill as many of these guys as possible. And I have managed to rout some of these units over here, which has been a bit of a win. And now bouncing up my axes, they're going to go into these Royal Huskars here. They probably do not stand a chance. unfortunately, yeah, there go the Huskars. They'll just slice and dice their way through these poor Scots. It's like literally my cheapest unit. It's just not even that good. They're losing decisively there. I need some support with my crossbows onto those Royal Huskars. Yeah, the Norse are basically out. I don't know how they haven't even surrounded this line here. It's still here. It's just kind of won. I've actually kind of pushed them back a little bit. Berserkers maybe have overextended, but they're winning, so they don't care. They don't care about the battle around them, just the man in front of them. They're in a bit of a rage. They are actually out of control, but yeah, look at the bodies. Insane. The bodies on this battlefield, like the pileups of, oh. Horrendous. So much loss of life. For what? Just one port city.
Our general has fallen.
And there you go. Unfortunately, my general has died. Find some Royal Huskars here. He's waiting for a charge. Trying to save his crossbows. And that's going to be GG. I think at that point we have 500 against 1800 left. It was a very fun one, and it's good. It honestly looked really positive at the point that we had these. We have just killed an enemy general though. That's a win. We could do with killing a couple off earlier. I feel like couldn't even kill the one down here by the beach. Unfortunately, couldn't even get this one. At least I think it was that one I didn't get. Maybe I did get the one down by the beach.
Our ally has been routed.
But anyway. Yeah, it just looked really. We looked really good. We, like the Welsh and myself managed to defeat the Saxons over here, but the Norse in the end just needed more and more of our troops being sucked in over there, so that we couldn't really make a good offensive around here and like encircle the Saxons that were engaged in that Viking line. But a close defeat, that is for sure. And it seems like we're not going to be able to look at the end results, unfortunately. I don't know why that is. But there you go. I hope you did enjoy, guys. It was certainly a glorious one. Shout out to everyone that did play in it. Like to all my teammates and the opponents. It was a solid like match. You know who you were that played in this battle. And yeah, thank you very much for joining. And if you enjoyed, guys, remember to leave a like, subscribe, hit that like button, etc. You know, or hit the notification bell as well. I don't know. Shows your support if you want to. But until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.